because I knew you'd be fresh and wear that salmon-colored tie. I knew it, and I'm so mad because I'm wearing this white cutout number, and I had that color, and I was going to do. I'm so mad at myself. Ugh. What can I do?
You know, if that's the worst thing in your life, if that makes the top 1,000 things to worry about in your life, you have a great life.
Okay, you're a Debbie Downer. Okay, I'm trying to have fun here.
By the way, Debbie Upper here.
Speaking of fun, Ken Starr, God rest his soul, was a happy warrior. He had the way of like cutting through an issue with a smile on his face. And I knew him since I was a young lawyer. When I just started in practicing law. I have my own tribute to him. I'm so glad you did that, Sean, because he was a wonderful person and a brilliant legal mind. And we're not going to see anyone like him anytime soon. So thank you for those words for him, and
he'll be missed.
I'll try to do it justice at the end of this show. But thank you so much, and great show as always, even with the tie.
All right, Laura, have a great show.
I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. We're going to get right to it. The brutal truth. That's the focus of tonight's. All right, Kim Kardashian has big news.
Kim Kardashian is expanding her brand once again. She is starting a private equity firm with Jay Sammons, a 16-year veteran of the Carlyle Group.
And Prince William and Harry, the royal drama continues.
When you saw, though, the body language, I think a picture says 1,000 words. The body language, I thought, was somewhat strained out there.
And Tom and Giselle, trouble in paradise?
Tom Brady and Giselle Bündchen reportedly hitting a rough patch in their marriage. According to multiple reports, the A-list couple's problems started when Tom returned to the NFL.
Ooh. And Lizzo finally, yes, gets recognized with a big Emmy.
When I was a little girl, all I wanted to see was me in the media. Someone fat like me. Make some noise for my big girls.
God bless. And whether or not hounding Trump, this is what the dominant, dumbed-down TikTok culture prefers that we focus on. But all of it is a distraction. None of it matters to your daily life. But you know what does matter? Our government. Our $24 trillion economy, it's being managed by dunderheads.
With this law, the American people won and special interests lost. Say it again. The American people won and special interests lost. Lower health insurance costs. Lower energy costs for millions of families. I want to take the most aggressive action ever to confront the climate crisis and increase our energy security, ever in the whole world. And that's not hyperbole, that's a fact.
In the whole world. Well, the dimwits at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue were actually out celebrating today. Now, talk about dysfunctional. They clearly scheduled this event in the expectation that they were going to get really good news on inflation this morning. But of course, instead they got really terrible news on inflation. The market dropped more than 1,200 points. The Dow was off almost 4%.
Well, for a day that has been planned for weeks to be a celebration of a cornerstone legislative achievement named the Inflation Reduction Act, the split screen of that CPI report and the market reaction to it was certainly not ideal for President Biden. There are still a lot of headwinds heading into that election.
The S&P 500 is down 4.2%. Again, we haven't seen these kind of big drops in more than 2 years.
I mean, this is catastrophic. Politicians lie, my friends. You saw those numbers. The media outlets, they lie, but the numbers do not lie. Now let's take a look at recent history. Real-world median household income under Trump rose from $66,657 in 2016 to $71,186 in 2020. That's an increase of 6.8% in only 4 years. That was despite the effects of COVID. And remember, there was no inflation then. But now, by spending trillions on nonsense programs and printing hundreds of billions of dollars, Democrats and Joe Biden are robbing you blind. A new report just came out from the Census Bureau today saying that real median household income fell from $71,186 in 2020 to $70,784 in 2021. In other words, the U.S. economy under Trump, when we were shut down from COVID, generated better results for the average person than the U.S. economy under Biden, when we had a vaccine and when the country should have totally reopened. And then go back to 2019. These numbers are important. The last year before COVID. Well, then median income was $72,808. $72,808. So in 2021, the median household income was $2,024 lower than it was in 2019. Think about that. Now, these figures show why Trump is still popular. It's obvious. And why populist policies work by putting money in the pocket of average people. Now, to put this all into perspective, people saw much bigger gains under Trump in 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, even with COVID, than they saw in 16 years of George W. Bush and Obama. Again, facts are stubborn things. And of course, under Biden, there's also the problem of inflation destroying savings, because we all know this. We pay the bills, that high prices are causing average American families to spend $460 more per month this year than they did a year ago. And by the way, when these facts collide, with the day of celebration at the White House, how do they end up spinning it?
Overall, prices have been essentially flat in our country these last 2 months. That is welcome news for American families. This month, we saw some welcome moderation in the price increases for food at the grocery store. It's moderating, and real wages are going up again for the second month in a row.
She's reading the whole thing. It's just so embarrassing. Prices are moderating? Is that what she said? Move over, Baghdad Bob. You've got competition.
Everything has gotten so much more expensive.
Putting gas in the tank and food on the table are the two biggest things that have been causing a little stress in the pocketbook.
My kids are really the ones struggling. Everything like groceries, food, gas, just is really hard for them. If you're making very little money, that all your paycheck goes for those essentials.
And my Costco bills have gone up by almost 60% in the last 2 years.
The truth of the matter is we're going to go into recession. It's going to get ugly.
You see yourself working multiple jobs to combat inflation?
I might have to do that if it continues like this.
I went back to work part-time on a one-year contract to supplement our income.
I'm working more jobs than I want to, but I just plain don't want to work anymore. I want to retire, and that's not happening either.
It's all rain at the Biden. Why did these people not know that that was a song? Suicide? Now, if he had sung Up on a Roof, I might have jumped after hearing this bunch.
Today offers proof that the soul of America is vibrant, the future of America is bright, and the promise of America is real. It is real. It is real.
Today, we are gathered to celebrate another historic step forward for our nation.
From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank every one of my Senate Democratic colleagues who made the Inflation Reduction Act happen.
Mr. President, thank you for unifying and inspiring a vision of a stronger, fairer, safer future for all, for our children. Your extraordinary leadership has made this glorious day possible. That's an applause line.
Oh, my God. We'll let them all eat designer ice cream after dinner at the French Laundry, Nancy. Now, in the real world, people know that they're worse off in myriad ways than they were under Trump. This is why African-American men are starting to turn away from the Democrats. It's why Hispanics are rejecting Biden and his battalion of buffoons. And it's why young people are just disgusted, period. And here you see why the media, they keep trying to distract us. The reason they keep talking about January 6th and the reason they keep talking about fascism, this is it. They're trying to avoid the obvious, the overwhelming evidence showing that populism makes the average American richer, while establishment policies made them poorer. And the media is going to do everything possible, by the way, to avoid reporting all the facts that we brought you tonight. Because the brutal truth, while it's ugly here, is empowering. So stay focused on the truth when you go to vote. and take power away from the people who are destroying pretty much everything you love.